Earlier that day, we were kicking it, just chilling right outside his house. And I left him standing on the street.
Okay, cars in the area, copy on that. Particular subject with open warrants, approximately 14 of them, male black, 6 foot, red bandana, eastbound on East 13th Street.
Everybody like, yeah, bro, like they just shot him.
I think he ducked into this little store right here on Vine Street.
Possibly in the store on Vine Street, Timothy Thomas.
In 2001, we had the riots, which were a result of the shooting of Timothy Thomas, who was killed by a police officer.
Mostly young crowds were on the streets for a second time in 12 hours today, protesting the latest shooting death of a black man by police.
I never drew the diagram, how to deal again.
Not making no sense. It's escalated. Because they shooting innocent people and they shooting kids and they got nothing to do with it already.
And over the Rhine, two of our founders, Gavin Leonard and His Lord Allah, there were other members as well. They were really concerned about keeping police accountable. And so they created what was called Control, and they took video cameras and they would watch and record police interactions with the community, especially over the Rhine. But from there, Is Lord, inspired by a movie called Breaking Electric Boogaloo, they were raising money for a center called Miracles. And in Miracles, they would teach graffiti, they would teach breakdancing, they would teach all of the elements of hip hop. And so from that idea, that blueprint created Elementz. And so here we were a safe space for youth to come, and we would teach them using hip hop to engage them. And that's where we came from, that idea, that family atmosphere, a place for youth to come, to express themselves, to feel safe. We started out on the corner of Liberty and Central Parkway, which is right next to the old Cincinnati Ballet and the FC Cincinnati Stadium. And we would have community dinners. We'd just make really family oriented. So we provided that. We would have different community talks. We would engage them in different forums and things of that nature. But just to be a part of the community and help facilitate whatever community outreach was going on at the time, partnering with different organizations as well. So we are on the corner of Race and Green Street, 1640. Race Street, Elementz Hip Hop Cultural Arts Center. We're in the street stage right now, and this is where I teach DJing classes, and we also have dance instruction here as well. I am April Carr. I am the Director of Programming and Evaluation. Oh, and the DJ instructor. Elementz, really, what we envision is this is going to be your hip hop resource. And we cover all of the pillars of hip hop, DJing, beat making, breakdancing, graffiti, MCing are all housed here. And we go out to the schools and we provide programming from a hip hop cultural lens. After COVID, we shifted to going out into the schools. We're creating partnerships where we can go into the schools and provide enriched programming. But we also right now we're sharing about creative careers. You know, a lot of the youth are exposed to, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a barber, beautician, nail technician. Well, they're sharing what they've been exposed to. And so if they are exposed to, yeah, I can be a videographer, I can, write and be a journalist, all of these different things that we can share when we go into the schools about other creative careers and to help them, because there's a big creative economy. It's like a $1 billion industry of people who are doing creative work. And so we want to expose them to that. But here, like if you came on a Tuesday, we would teach DJing classes. We have members who are now in Studio E and Beats and Rhymes. Those are different recording studios, recording music. And so that's currently what's happening here inside our building. But also earlier today, we're teaching dance and graffiti at schools as well. So we're just more spread out than rather than in just one location now. Hip hop is a culture, whereas if you look at particular classical music or something like that, you hear it, but then when you think of hip hop, you don't just think about the music. You think about dance. You might think about fashion. You'll think about how you talk. All of these different things that come around, which you would see in a culture. And because for the Black community, started in the Bronx, and in the 70s, there were Black and brown people who created this, culture. The founder of hip hop, Kool Herc, he was not only a DJ, but he also was a b-boy. He was also an MC. He was also a graffiti artist. So he encapsulated hip hop, and it was created by, Black and brown people. The Latinx, all are a part of that culture. And so it means a lot because we created it. Hip hop, if we look at it as a form of expression, right? Not as a catalyst, it can be for change, but as a form of expression. There's a lot of anger, that may be pent up, that we can use this as a vehicle to express that, no matter what. Now, so this is a tool, right? You can use, just out of curiosity, let's look at other art forms or other genres, rock, where this is a part of a movement, but we weren't necessarily using music as a way to change. We were using other tools to organize different things like that to create a civil rights movement. You know what I'm saying? So when you couch it like that, no, hip hop is not going to, save everyone, and but it is a way for us to healthily express our frustrations, our angers, in a way that could be helpful, right? A positive thing. We could be saying some things that might be negative. There's some ways that, it can be used in a bad way. But I think that just like with all forms of music and creative expression, it's a tool to get it out. And in that respect, hip hop has been a good thing, right? And it has been a savior. It has been a healthy way for people to express themselves and stay out of trouble. So it has been working, and that's why there's hope there for us to get it out individually, right? And then it happens collectively, and then you will also see it as a part of the movement as well. So, like you said, Childish Gambino, We're Gonna Be All Right, Kendrick Lamar, we're expressing it, and it's a part of it. I think it's just more of a catalyst, in a way for us, cathartic tool for us to get it out. Even though we're not known as like a big hip hop city per se, there were some times back, like in the late 90s, where we used to have this hip hop festival called Scribble Jam. And it was more underground, but we had people competing in the MC battles like Eminem, and Common, saying, so big people came down, and we had all of the, b-boy, we had graffiti, all of these things of hip hop competitions, and it was amazing. And it would happen here in Cincinnati, It could have been over in New York, Cali, or something like, but it was here, and it lasted for at least I say at least 10 years. But going back, funk, and hip hop is so, undergirded with funk, you know what I'm saying? And James Brown and King's Records is here, and hip hop heavily used James Brown. So it's like we are hip hop, you know what I'm saying, because of our, our history, rooted in the funk and all that stuff. But it's just not as in your face, but it's here. And we have a lot of hip hop history. And I think that's the reason why Elementz has lasted so long, because we have hip hop here. We gave them the sound that they're using. We saw the importance of being exposed to, people of your, same ethnicity, race, all of that, being able to do a great thing, and to have ownership, to have an idea and see it through, to whereas, there might be other entities that would say that you can't do it. You're not good enough, saying only we can do it, you can't, but to see someone actually doing it, to see, a large scale movie such as, Spider-Man, to include that, it's a big thing. And so here at Elementz, we understand, like, if we expose them, say yes, so we show clips of Wu-Tang Clan and GZA.
It's in a way where you're saying, my universe run like clockworks forever. My words are pulled together, sudden change in the weather. The nature and the scale of events don't make sense. A storm with no one in, you're drawn in by immense gravity that's gone mad. Clouds of dust and debris, moving at colossal speeds, they crush an MC.
He's a rocket scientist or something like that. To see that you can do these, astronomical things, that you're not tied into this box of, you can only do this, and that. I think it's really just important for us to see what can be done to give us encouragement to pursue our goals and our dreams. Yeah, ownership is key. The main thing really is to build up the person. Noah Hawes, he is a major MC here at Elementz Hip Hop Culture Art Center. He runs our Studio E Beats and Rhymes studio, but he also is an amazing artist. So I have one of his shirts on right now. You can just look up, Google Noah Hawes and HBR on the track. All those different songs will come up. He has a new album out as well. Repping him today. A lot of the times, individuals may hear that they can't do something, or they're trying to find their identity of what they can do. And we want to give them encouragement, like, yes, you can do this. If you practice and commit yourself, you can do this. So there's a lot of building up. There's a lot of building up of self-confidence and esteem, pointing out their strengths so they can find their niche, their spark. And once you see that happening with, the students that come in, then it gives them, just encouragement that they can, or agency or whatever, they can do this. They can, and that, research has shown that will put them in a better position for success. And, you see some kids that may come in and, they might be a little bit more vocal or, more aggressive and, different things like that, where you thinking, but these youth, you've seen them. I have a few in mind that have gone on to, obtain careers. They might have had some bumps along the way, but I firmly believe that our presence of being here and being in space and being really consistent. We've had youth who've been here since the 2000s that will come back and visit us because they know of this. It's almost like a staple, you know what I'm saying, and how much we poured into them. And when they come into these doors, there's a welcome. There's almost like a sense of a second home to them, that they can come and express themselves, And so for me to see them return means we are doing something good. They could have left us and forgot, I'm not saying that every single person that because we've touched over like 2,000 plus people, you know what I'm saying? But we do have that remnant that comes back, and we don't, you know, they come back on their own will, you know what I'm saying? And because we're doing something that is just providing a safe space for them, but then they're also going on and they're changing and they're doing good in the world themselves, you know? So I'm thankful for that, and that gives me hope, you know? We may not see it immediately, like, you know what I'm saying, but when they come back and share their stories, we know it's like, okay, we need to keep doing this.